Good afternoon, world. It is moments past noon in Waxahachie, Texas, deep in the heart of the Lone Star State. And today is the 16th of December, our last show
So 2026.
until
026.
2026.
Yep.
This is episode number 114 of Grit and Good News. We're broadcasting live from our studios here in downtown Waxahachie in the shadows of the historic Ellis County Courthouse. And my name is Jeff Lynch, and I'm your co-host. Our man Scott Brooks. Sam Brooks is capably at the board. To my right, Scott Brooks.
Thank you, bud.
What you got,
Appreciate
Scott?
it. Welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day out there today. Thank you for being with us on what is a first day of a warming trend. I think it's supposed to be 77 or 70, maybe 80 on Saturday.
70, yeah.
And then on Christmas Day, it's supposed to be
Low 70s
similar.
still.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that. I'm not complaining about
No.
anytime we have nice weather.
Well, it was
Oh, I'm not-
cold when I was working the golf course Sunday morning. Wow.
Yeah, it's been a couple days cold. But it's beautiful out there right now. Should be golfing, to tell you the truth. But anyway, thank you for being with us. As you know already, we do this show 2 times a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays from noon to 1 o'clock. It's live. Then you can watch it later on YouTube, Waxahachie Sun YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, a variety of other places. So feel free to watch us whenever you can. We like the opportunity to hear what you have to say, and we do hear from people, and we like sharing with you what we think about what's going on in this country, which at the moment is an awful lot, a ton.
When is it not?
Yeah, I guess it. I mean, it does. I mean, saying that the country goes quiet just means that the rumble's a little lower. Right now, the rumble's pretty high. So we're going to begin with our customary picking. Sammy picks the number of our episode without the. It's not 114. It's 114 episode, but we choose 14, and Sammy goes out and finds professional athletes, well-known ones that wore at one point, some still do, some are still playing, but wore the number or wear the number of our episode. And that's that case, or in this case, it's 14. So, Sammy, what do you got?
All right, starting off with NFL.
All right,
Any
NFL.
guess?
Well, obviously we got Sam Darnold.
That's it. Is that your only guess?
No, we got. And by the way, 14 is my favorite number and always has been since I can remember.
Well, that was your playing number.
My what?
Wasn't that your basketball playing number?
No, my basketball. We didn't. No, back in those days, you had jerseys. I don't want to get sidetracked, but jerseys at home were even numbers. Jerseys away, our away uniforms were odd numbers.
You changed numbers
in
in college?
Yeah, at one point, I can't remember if it was at college or if it was like JV or something. But anyway, my numbers were 10 in high school and college. High school, I think, was 10 or 11, and then college was 10.
Huh, okay.
But anyway, number 14 has always been my favorite number. So
All right.
Little known to you, well, not known to you, but one of the quarterbacks of Dallas lore, Dallas Cowboys, is Craig Morton. Is he number 14? I think he was number
I don't have
14.
him on here.
Okay, he's not on there?
Nope.
Oh,
Starting with
crap.
Otto Graham.
Yeah.
Otto Graham. And then Dan Fouts
And Fouts.
for the Chargers.
Yeah.
And Y.A.
Tittle.
Tittle.
Yeah.
1951 for the 49ers.
Famous
49ers,
picture of
yeah.
him on the cover of Sports Illustrated, one of the
bloody.
only black and whites ever, and he's on his knees with blood
Yeah.
coming down off of his face.
Yeah, I remember.
And then we got Ken Anderson.
Yeah, Bengals.
We got Andy Dalton,
Yeah.
the Bengals.
Of everybody.
Yeah.
Redhead.
And then
TCU.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
He's been balling. Then we go to NBA.
Oh, by the way, tonight, speaking of balling, tonight is Seattle and the Rams in Seattle, and they're both 10-3.
Tonight is Mavericks versus Pistons.
Yeah, well, I'll be watching football.
I'll be
You
watching
can text
basketball.
me and tell me the score.
Okay, basketball.
Basketball number 14 would be that's a good question. Should I know any of them?
I'll start with Oscar Robertson.
Okay, yeah. The big
Then we got Bob Cousy.
Yeah.
Danny Green. Remember him
Yeah,
for
I
the
do.
Spurs. We got Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
And then Tyler Hero.
Yeah, okay.
Those are current right there.
All
And then
right.
going to MLB.
MLB number 14, Pete Rose.
We got starting with Pete Rose. And then we got Ernie Banks.
Yeah.
Gil Hodges.
Hodges, yeah.
And then Paul Konerko. for the White
Marco, yeah,
Sox.
very good. Okay, number 4. Yeah, those are good.
Yeah.
Now, 14's not a. I don't
This,
know. Well, we got Jamie Benn.
Jamie
we got
Benn,
Jamie
yeah.
Benn. That's
Yeah.
that's one on there.
Stars captain for a long time.
I
Yeah.
have Dave Keon for the Maple Leafs.
Yes, sir.
And
4
then
cups.
Theo Fleury for the Flames.
Yeah,
And Chris Kunitz for the Ducks.
But most of his career with Pittsburgh.
Who?
Kunitz.
Yeah, true.
He was,
I was
he was
thinking
a
of
wing for Sidney Crosby.
I was thinking of Fleury. I love the name Theo, first of all.
Short for Theodore.
Yeah, I was saying the Theodore, one of the best goalie names ever for me is Montreal's Jose Theodore. I love that name. But yeah, Fleury. Theo Fleury. He was a little
I
guy,
think
but
they
he could
call him
play.
Josie, actually.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Josie Theodore? Oh,
Yeah.
what did I say? Jose?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Josie. It's spelled like Jose.
I saw him play in the Forum. Oh, in the whatever came after the Forum. Yeah.
He was good. All right.
And
Updates.
Brendan Shanahan with the Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah, that's right.
Big
That's a good
cups.
one.
Yeah.
All right. Sammy and I did our playoffs for the NCAA college football playoffs that begin tomorrow night with Sammy. Sammy's got on his Bama hoodie today. Yep, Bama tomorrow night,
Roll
7
Tide.
o'clock. Play Oklahoma in Norman.
And as you well know, and I make no bones about it, I'm not a student of the college game, but
Well, we're gonna
but you've been wearing off on me a little bit. Here we go. What do we got?
See what a student you are. But anyway, so Jeff wasn't here on Tuesday. So Jeff, I'm just gonna go through the games, and I've got Sammy's teams on here and mine. So let's hear yours. University of Miami against Texas A&M. Who you got?
I'm going to take your Aggies.
All right, so all three of us picked the Aggies. Georgia against Ole Miss. Who you got?
I'll take the Dogs.
All right, Jeffrey, Sammy, and I have Ole Miss. Jeff, who you got for James Madison in Oregon?
You know, I don't know much about James Madison, but they fought their way through, and for whatever lame reason, I don't like the Oregon Ducks, so I'm going to take James Madison.
You crazy. Jeff.
You know, I wasn't so crazy the last time.
All right, well, you're crazy on this one. Alabama, Oklahoma. Bet you having to think about it. What's it?
Well, you know, I said this the last go around, and I picked Alabama to lose, which they did. And I told you I don't like your coach the way he bitches at everything.
All right,
to
well,
the
who are you
refs.
picking?
So I'm going to take the Sooners
Stay
just to
off
be
our
a
coach.
just to be a contrarian.
Jeff, yeah, you are a contrary. All right, next game, A&M, Ohio State.
The Ohio State is going down.
Oh, wow, we all three picked A&M on that one. All right, you have in this game, oh, you know what? I screwed up. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Let me
I
go
thought
back
I
to the
did
very
A&M first.
Ole Miss. No. You got A&M all the way through, but the first game I said was Georgia Ole Miss. It's not. It's Tulane Ole Miss. Who you got there?
Ole Miss,
All right, so that's Jeff, and then you picked
Georgia.
well, Georgia's already there, so yeah, you picked Georgia against Ole Miss. So Sammy and I picked Ole Miss to beat Georgia. So you're the only one that has Georgia. Then on the other side, we've got Texas. Oh, I didn't do. Wait a minute. Oh, Texas Tech had a bye. Texas Tech, Oregon.
Texas.
Oh no, you picked
picked-
James Madison. Texas Tech, James Madison.
Right.
Who you got? Texas Tech.
Tech.
All right, we all three got that. And then Alabama, Indiana.
I'll relent and take Bama there.
All right, so Bama, we all three. No, me and you have Bama. Sammy has Indiana.
Yeah.
Traitor. All right, then we get
shouldn't have
down to the
relented.
semifinals. We got A&M against. Sammy and I picked Ole Miss. You picked Georgia. So A&M or Georgia in your case.
I'll take A&M again.
A&M, that's what I have. Sammy has Ole Miss. And then on the other semifinals would be, wait, who do we have?
Tech.
Alabama against Tech. What do you got?
I'll take your Bama.
All right, you got Bama. Sammy and I picked, both of us picked Tech. So for the final game, you have Alabama versus A&M. Who's going to win the national championship?
I'll go home state.
Jeffrey's got A&M, and Sammy and I had Tech, half Tech.
Texas Tech.
So there you go. It's in writing. You cannot deny it. So don't
Chuck's
be coming at
here.
me whining.
I don't know if I could read it.
Chuck's here saying, Scott, Jeff, I give it a rating of 10 for Sammy's pronunciation of names. Entertainment value. I love hearing my boys do the same at home. Sammy, if I ever run into you, I have a list just for me to pronounce. I appreciate it, Chuck.
Thank you, Chuck. It's always good having Chuck with us. Always good. Matter of fact, I was reading something the other day, Chuck, on Facebook. Somebody, I don't know if you posted or commented on somebody's post. That's a good friend of mine. Or anyway, it was nice to see that you're connected to other good people, and I appreciate you a lot. All right, so there you have it, Jeffrey. All right, let me just talk about a few other playoffs. We got the Cowboys. I don't know, whatever they play. Who do they play this
They're
weekend?
done.
They play the Chargers.
And I looked this up. I dropped my coffee cup. You know what the line is? It's a noon game at
It's
AT&T.
probably favoring. Well, it's probably different than what we would say, right?
Cowboys by 2.5.
I was going to say, yeah, there's something's up. So on that alone, I believe the Cowboys will win. I believe the Cowboys are going to win out. The problem is they have to do that to get in the playoffs, but that's not enough. Philly's got to lose out,
Yeah, and they got
and they got Washington twice and Buffalo in the middle.
so they could lose to Buffalo.
Yeah, and then
I
they got
could see them losing once
to Washington, but not
Washington.
twice. Yeah.
And then, the only thing you could hope for, where's the last game? Or
The Washington Philly game? I
yeah.
don't know.
When you go to the racetrack, it's a muddy track.
Yeah.
What do they say? It equalizes the field, and I think it does the same thing
In football.
in
Probably.
any sports. It's a great equalizer.
Yeah, the problem, the challenge for Washington is they're Jaden Daniels is out for the year. So Marcus Mariota, I would say his name.
Did you hear that Quinn Ewers is starting?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Tua, you play like crap, you're going to get benched, and he shouldn't complain
Exactly.
one bit. All right, let's see if there's anything else on that update list. Let me just Brown University. If you haven't been following that, of course, last Friday night, 2 people were killed. One of the people killed was a young lady that was I believe she's from Texas, and she was the president of the school Republicans.
19-year-old.
Yeah, and then the other was a foreign student, I think a Middle Eastern student. Not sure I don't know anything about him other than that. But and then 11 people I think were injured. So a pretty serious thing. Obviously, they have no idea who did it. None. They have video. It's almost like Misty Beavers in the sense they have video of the guy walking around town, but
It's not good video.
no, he's not, and he's covered up. But they right now, unless they're not telling us, they have no idea who did it. Which to me, I mean, when you listen to these press conferences, you listen to the mayor of Providence, Rhode Island, you listen to the district attorney for that county, you listen to the president of Brown, she is clueless. You listen to the police chief, and you wonder how they ever put their pants on in the morning. It's ridiculous what's going on. They're so woke, it's not even funny. And I'm not blaming them for the murder. It's not their fault. Although Brown University has 1,200 some odd cameras on campus, but the area that this dude went in and killed people has no cameras anywhere. So obviously he cased the joint. But it's incredible.
To that, I heard a gal that goes there being interviewed, and she said, in terms of people criticizing security, this is like the toughest school in the country to have security because we're in the middle of a developed part of town, and we've got buildings all intermixed with residential areas, and so it's not like we have a true defined campus. We have
Well,
a central part, but we got buildings all over the
I would
place.
just say put cameras on them.
Yeah.
To have a section of the school, regardless of where it's all mixed in, put cameras on the school. That's how Missy Beavers. That's how Missy Beavers' murder should have been solved, is through videos. But uh, in this case, we know about the dude that killed Charlie Kirk was on camera, walking through neighborhood and then on a roof.
Right.
I just don't understand how Brown University could be so lax with any portion of its campus, regardless of the intricacies of it, that it didn't have cameras.
And the other thing, and it goes back to what you said about what a liberal school that is.
Yeah.
So now one of the people shot is the president of the Young Republicans Club.
Yeah.
Okay. So uh, that goes with what I'm about to say, which is um, it happened at 4:05 East Coast time. We know it's 5:05.
3:05 our
No,
time.
4:05. It was dark.
Okay, so it happened at probably 5:05 their time, 4:05 ours.
Their
Yeah,
time, and um, it was in this engineering and physics building.
right.
Okay, and there was testing being going on there. The rest of the school didn't have testing going on.
Yeah.
So this sounds to me like it was a focus on that gal.
Yeah.
And somebody would have to know that testing was going on in that building at that time and have a way
To
to
get
get
there
in
undetected.
through.
Yeah.
So I'm saying
Yeah, it
it's
wasn't a
not random. That's
happenstance.
what I'm
No, no,
saying.
no. It's not random. I would agree it's a planned thing. I'm not one of these people to sit back and say, well, see, you're an idiot. I mean, I can be an chair quarterback or coach with the best of them when it comes to Bama and
Mhm.
others. But when it comes to crime, I mean, I don't, I'm a victim. My family's a victim of my mother being murdered. And that still, although long ago, I remember well that you have to piece things together, even though you know what happened and who did it. In this case, I can't imagine that a school would set itself up for this to happen. Now, they didn't know it was going to happen, but I don't know that somebody's going to break in and rob my house either, but I have cameras up everywhere. So I just don't understand it. Um, Speaking of colleges, I wanted to tell you this. I didn't mention this in prep, but I came across a story the other day. I still can't believe it. Plattsburgh College, which is in the a college within the State University of New York's schools. There's many
Mhm.
of them. Buffalo is one of them, but across the state, they're part of that SUNY, they call it.
State University
Yeah,
of
New York.
what?
Plattsburgh now has a uh, a student association, a student club that's called Plattsburgh. That Platts Fur is a club uh, that is a safe space for furries to socialize and create content around a joint interest and currently has 17 members. We aim to not only have social dialogues, but also incorporate certain elements of crafts as well as arts. And not only teach methods, but also invite people to explore stuff they may not have before. I'm okay with that. Um, the funny, you can't really see this and Sammy doesn't have it, but they dress up
As animals.
as animals like mascots. So you have these there you go. If you can, I don't know, Sammy, can you see that? I mean,
And some of them kind of think they are that animal.
yeah, they do. So Platts Fur has since hosted a coloring page, meet and greet, and a campfire meetup for students. Let's see. I mean, these kids go walk around. They're in a, I don't know where that is. It's either on campus or in a, I don't know that it's a mall, but or an office building somewhere. Anyway, they're walking around in their mascot looking furry uniforms. According to the International I'm not going to even say that. Some research project, the furry community includes fans, artists, writers, gamers, and role players who often create an I'm going to try to say anthropomorphized animal character or persona. So it talks about these kids that morph into the animal and adopt that persona. They call it persona. The group says more than 75% of furries are under the age of 25, and nearly 60% of the fandom say they are enrolled in college. The College Fix, the school paper, reported Tuesday that the state university approved it in an 11-1 vote on November the 16th. So there you have it. We talk about college and whether or not it's worth it anymore. I swear on a stack of Bibles, if where I went to school, both schools had a club, created a club called Furries, I mean, I don't know what I'd have done, but that's absurd. That's a tarnation if there ever was one. All right, let me just share this one more thing with you before we get to our other stuff, our tarnations. The poll came out this week that says congressional Democrat in Congress, approval sinks to an all-time low. Only 18% of voters questioned in a Quinnipiac University survey released on this past Wednesday said they approve of the way Democrats in Congress are handling their job, while 73% disapprove. So 18% of the American people, and those must be family members, approve of the way Democrats in Congress are
You got
handling
similar
themselves.
Republican numbers?
The numbers for Republicans are only 35% of the
Yeah.
voters approved of the way Republicans in Congress are handling their jobs, with 58% disapproving. I don't think that's an all-time low. You want to think it is, but I
No,
don't
but
think
that's you would expect that America thinks both sides of Congress are doing a bad job, but the Democrats are doing worse. That's
Yeah,
none of
the
that's
question
amazing.
is, why can't they do a good job? Listen to this. It been a silver lining for Democrats. 47% of voters questioned in the survey said they would want to see the Democrat Party win control of the House in next year's midterm elections, while 43% hope the GOP holds its majority. I don't know. I honestly, maybe I'm so conservative that I can't see it, but I'm not sure, given the way the left in Congress conducts itself in the way they want. I just can't, even in the most objective way, I can't understand why anybody would want to be governed by that or like that.
And if you have 18% not approving of it, why would you want more of it?
Yeah.
Unless you thought that maybe, do you think maybe you'll get even lefter and you'd like that, or do you think that maybe moderates would come in? I
Yeah.
don't know. It just
Well,
doesn't. It
the
doesn't
risk
add up
is,
to
I
me.
mean, it's obvious that wherever the doors open on the left in Congress, in through that door are going to come more radicals than less radicals. And to that point, great segue into this report that says a quiet GOP Republican astroturf campaign convinced liberal firebrand Jasmine Crockett for the United States Senate. I don't know if you've heard about this, but astroturf meaning that it's not real. So Tim Scott of South Carolina, we talked about this a little bit the other day. He heads up the Senate recruiting aspect of the Senate for Republicans, and he created a poll such that the answer would lead people to say or indicate that they believed Jasmine Crockett would win the Senate seat in the primary come spring. And as the story goes, and this has been all over the place, both on the left and the right, is that she bought it, that she bought the results of the poll without realizing what was behind the poll, and as a result, decided to run for Senate. So she resigned her seat in the House of Representatives, now is running for Senate, and she's up against a kid named Tallarico, who was a priest, oddly enough, and a congressman, kind of an oxymoron there. But they will run against each other. I think there's more involved, but they will run for the primary of the Democrats. So
that might be part of it. I would contend that the bigger part still is that she thought she had a better chance of winning than she did to hold her representative
yeah,
seat.
we talked about that too the last time you were
Yeah.
here, and I just I get a kick out of these videos. I save them that say back in 2016 or 2016 from the left media, Trump is not going to win the presidency.
Right.
Pelosi, you can take that to the bank. Barack Obama drops his pen. At least I was president. Trump will never be president. And when I say somebody like Jasmine Crockett will never be a senator, I have that in the back of my mind thinking, wait a minute, anything can happen. But Jasmine Crockett will never be a senator from Texas. Never be a senator from Texas. Particularly after her interview with the other day saying that she doesn't need any Republicans to win. Well, how's she going to win in a red state?
This
Otherwise,
morning had an article saying that she thought her success is to get more Democrats out to vote, which should probably be an important part of her ability to win.
yeah, there's going to have to
And
be a
that's what
lot
I've
of them.
always said about anything that has to do with gerrymandering.
Yeah.
You can't just say, oh, it's a Republican area, it's a Democrat area. Well, get your people out.
Yeah, voting, the turnout is the key, always the key. All right, so there you have it. Tornations, I got a couple. I want you to, Sammy, if you'll get ready and cue up the video of Vero Beach. I want a football game. So it's on the agenda. So do you have it? All right. See if you can find it, son. It was on the agenda. It's a football game in Vero Beach, Florida, last week for the state championship. And I can't remember the other school,
St. Mary's,
St. Mary's. And the game
a public versus a
came
private
down.
school.
The game came down to, and it was 28. No,
7-point lead,
20. When it was,
8-point lead.
yeah, it was 29-21, and we're within a minute and a half to go. 29-21. Vero Beach is ahead. All right, they have the ball. They're up by 8. The other team has 2 timeouts. Okay, first down, first and 10. Vero Beach, instead of running the ball, they had already had over 200 yards in rushing. They hiked
Drop
it,
back 7.
drop back 7 yards, and kneel down. All right, so they're on their own 45, something like that. They drop back. The coach says, kneel down. Although we've been running the ball down these people's throats, all we got to do is get a first down and the game's over. This is for the state championship.
Right.
So instead of doing that, the coach says, step backwards 7 yards or whatever and kneel down. All right, so he does it. So that's first down. Team calls a timeout. Second down, does the same dang thing. Backs up 7 more yards, kneels down. The other team calls a timeout. So now it's third and forever. There are no more timeouts. I think we're down to a minute 22, something like that. They hike the ball on third down now. Does the same thing. I think he goes back even further
Right.
this time. Kneels down, so the clock keeps running, and it's now fourth down, up by 8. Fourth down, no timeouts left. So instead of just kneeling down or whatever, or running forward, the quarterback for Vero Beach runs backwards into the end zone, runs around a little bit, and
Out of
then
the end zone,
with 22 seconds left in the game, he
takes the
goes
safety.
out of bounds, takes a safety. So now Vero Beach was up by 8, a minute and a half to go.
Now you're down to 6.
Now we're down to 6. So we put the other team. He put the other team within winning range. Vero Beach got to punt the ball or kick the ball. They kick the ball. They squib it. All right. So a guy catches it. He runs it. He runs it back far enough to be on about the 45-yard line of Vero Beach. In the last play of the game, throws a Hail Mary. The other team, this is the other team, St. Mary's. The receiver catches it. Vero Beach is short of the end zone, tries to tackle him. They can't tackle him, so another player comes up of the same team, gets the ball out of the receiver's hands and runs it in for a touchdown. And Vero Beach loses.
And the
Sammy, do you have it now?
I have a Prairie View versus South Carolina State.
people are totally up in arms against the coach. Now, the only thing you can say is his plan was to burn clock, burn clock, burn clock, and that they just won't have the time to get it done.
Yeah.
That was his philosophy, and he was wrong.
To do, well, I'm totally, that's obvious. That's what he should have done. But run forward. Run forward. Why would any coach?
Well, yeah, I
And
don't
this
know.
guy's in the state championship final, so you know he knows how to coach. But what coach runs backwards and then decides to have a safety and put your team within beating distance? It's just it's a tarnation. It's a tarnation. It's a crazy tarnation. And if any coach in the sound of my voice, if I went outside and screamed, but then Waxahachie did that, we'd run them out of town tomorrow or maybe even today.
And if you think he was on the take, I did look this up to find out. No odds can be printed in the United States by U.S. bookies, but
Overseas.
it could happen from overseas bookies. So we got that conspiracy theory working on that little factor.
Yeah, that's incredible. Another tarnation, Sammy, do you have the video of Bernie Thompson? All right. Bernie Thompson, who's a senator from Mississippi, you may remember Bernie Thompson because I think he was co-chair with, what was her name? Her daddy just died. Vice President Cheney, Liz Cheney, out of Wyoming, who was a Republican who has since turned on the Republicans and is no longer in politics. They ran the J6 committee, which will prove to be a biggest fraud, one of the bigger frauds ever. Anyway, Bernie Thompson, uh, a leftist if there ever was one, in a video the other day in a hearing on Capitol Hill, was referring to the shooting a week or so ago, 10 days ago, of two National Guards members in Washington D.C., one of which was murdered. The other is supposedly now getting much better.
Correct.
The murdered one was a young lady, by all accounts, a wonderful person and really serving her country. It was a murder. It was an assassination, whatever you want to call it. It was a cold-blooded murder in the middle of the dang day. Bernie Thompson, in the hearing, I want you to hear what he had to say. And this is the mindset of the people we're dealing with. All right? You got it, Sam?
NCTC reference the unfortunate accident that occurred with the National Guardsman being killed.
You think that was an unfortunate accident?
I mean,
It was a terrorist
no,
attack.
wait. Look, I'll get it straight. Then you can.
He shot our
respond.
National Guardsman in the head.
It was an unfortunate situation. NCTC.
There you go. That's it. Sam. All right,
reference
so there you have it.
the
Imagine having the mindset of a that says, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I don't care if you're upside down, right side up, black, white, green, purple, whatever. When somebody gets murdered, it almost goes back to Charlie Kirk in the way that was couched or positioned. But in this case, it's just so offensive. Imagine if that were one of our children or a friend of ours, their kid, or a sibling. And this clown in Mississippi, a representative of the people, called it an unfortunate accident. An unfortunate accident is, well, when I trip and roll on the street for all to see, or when you, as you said earlier, you spilled your coffee. We're talking about a murder. This guy couched a murder as an unfortunate accident. I think it's heinous for him to do that.
You know what? The Democrats, they got a little problem, and it's Rita and I were working the Times crossword puzzle the other day. We can handle that on Mondays and Tuesdays. And this long answer, the clue was something that's hard to say.
Yeah.
And after we finally were able to piece it together with enough things, the answer was, it was my fault. Okay. And the Democrats, they can't say that about things like this because their tenuous hold to their minority that they have, they can't turn on themselves.
Yeah.
They cannot admit when they're wrong.
Yeah, and that's so true, and what's so ironic about it is that in doing so, in saying I am sorry, I was wrong, it was my fault, my bad, whatever, is that it manifests and represents the strength of the person, the strong character, the substance in somebody who can say that, realizing that the world, by and large, interprets that as some form of weakness, whereas we know better that saying I'm sorry or my fault, I did wrong, I was wrong, whatever, it is a sign of strength.
Exactly.
And vulnerability is a strength.
My lovely wife Rita, after we are engaged, she told me that I checked off all 4 boxes of things that a man had to have, and one of them was an ability to admit your mistakes.
Yeah, and so here we have, I mean, Bernie Thompson in this example, as you heard him in that brief video say, hang on, let me get it straight. Well, when he attempted to get it straight, he still called it an
unfortunate
yeah, what did I say? What did he
circumstance.
say the first time?
An unfortunate circumstance.
No, when he said an unfortunate accident, when he came back, he made a little bit of progress, but he still was referring to it in a kind of flippant sort of way,
Yeah.
which only makes the matter worse. Just say, I characterized that totally wrong. That was that was a murder. It was a terroristic deal.
And then Christy Noem didn't do herself any favors by interrupting him. Then
well, she was up there. She was angry.
I know she can't wait for her turn.
I think in the name of full disclosure, I think I'd have jumped him even harder because I'm at a point now where enough is enough, and we're talking about people's lives here. Well, you don't hear me, nor do I hear you or Sammy or anybody else in my sphere of life saying, well, what happened to Rob Reiner was an unfortunate accident.
Yeah.
BS. What happened to Rob Reiner, as I posted on my own personal page yesterday, was a murder, and that Rob Reiner, especially with Charlie Kirk, came out and said that that is wrong. It is totally wrong. Now, he did make fun or make light of Trump almost being killed in Butler, but when it came to Charlie Kirk, at least Rob Reiner had enough sense to say, you know, I know Jesus, and I believe that Jesus expects us to stand against things like that. Well, you won't say, duh. But anyway, I don't understand these people like Bernie Thompson. All right, let's talk for just a few minutes. I'm trying to figure out here. We're not going to have time for all this stuff, so let's jump.
Do we want to talk about the Trump?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
So
What do
I,
you think of the Trump speech?
well, the first thing is I didn't hear till like that day when somebody said he'd be on that night, and all I could think of was how mad I was during Joe Biden's term when he was always thinking of ways to come on TV and make a speech. You know, how you can convince the national news that it's time for me to say something.
Yeah.
Okay. Normally that was just reserved for like disasters and State of the Unions and your, your normal times.
hmm
So then I'm going, so now Don's pulling the same thing here.
Yeah.
And maybe they gave him like a time limit because when he came on, somebody had that auto prompter going on a million cotton picking
Yeah, it
miles
was fast.
an hour. And I'm thinking, slow down so you don't stroke out, big man.
Yeah.
And it just, it carried that way through the whole time. And it distracted me from the message because he was coming so fast and furious with the whole thing. But beyond that, I thought he starts right away. He's gotta slam Biden so that he can make what he's done more significant by tearing him down.
hmm
And then he comes into his landslide election. I know you called it that too, but people can say what they want, but when the popular vote is as close as it wants, and yeah, he picked up those key battleground states, and he won by a decent majority in the electoral college, but it wasn't a landslide. So he's got to portray it that way. And then he had good things to say about the jobs reports and the the warrior dividend. Um, I think everybody likes to get $1,776, but um, it's not going to make much of a difference in any of their lives. Um, and of course, it was all about domestic and nothing at all about foreign affairs. And so I viewed it as Don Trump hawking. By the way, I'm reading Melania's autobiography, and she never ever refers to him as Don. It's always Don. Nobody ever refers to him.
Yeah.
But I just thought that he talked the media into allowing him to have a Donald Trump commercial.
Well, let me start with a couple of those points to counter to him. One is that he did talk about foreign affairs. He talked about the wars. I mean, it's all about what he's accomplished. Call it what you want, but in that he talked about the success of his actions overseas. I agree with you. It was so fast, and he had 22 minutes. And
That is short.
he finished it in 19 and a half minutes. And so he was running right through it. What Trump did is what Trump does, and that is he set the media up. The media would not have, because all the cable and the broadcasts obviously had this on, and it was set up by Trump through his PR people and Carolyn Levitt that it was going to be about Venezuela. And what are we doing? Are we escalating now into taking over in Venezuela? So with that as the backdrop, all of them covered it. Well, then he gets on there, and if you notice the set that he had behind him, it was all Christmas. There was no doubt that it was Christmas time if you just, came out of a coma and you wonder what time of year it was. And so he set up.
Yet he didn't talk about Christmas
No,
either.
no, no. He set up the media. He set up the media like he typically does by making them think that it was worthy of every single one of them covering it. And then he didn't. I mean, he might have said something about Venezuela, but it wasn't much. It was about him being able to say, "This is what we've achieved," and it was rushed. It wasn't his typical meandering, but because he had that locked in time.
Mhm.
And so I think if there's anything to be learned from that, is don't lock Trump in. I mean, I'm not in favor of wandering, mandering, roaming, rambling conversations, but I do think in his case he's much better at it than he was last night.
Right.
And this morning, he talked about the economy and he talked about all the things he's doing. So it was typical Trump stuff. But the report on inflation this morning came out. It was expected to be above 3%, and it was below 3%. And even people on the left in interviews that I've listened to this morning said that's pretty stunning.
And that's a year-over-year stat.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it was up 3% from the previous month.
No, I don't. Well, I know the
Because
expectation.
if it's that, it's 36%.
No. The expectation is that inflation as a standalone factor, big factor, was going to be reported as having been for the last quarter 3%. 3% inflation, but it was above 3%.
But again, that's quarter to quarter, not stacking them because that's
Yeah.
12% annually.
No. It's nothing to do with last year. It's what the quarter. It's not a comparison of last year. It's just to say, here's what inflation is right now. Take last year out of it. Right now, the forecast was in the last quarter for inflation to be over 3%. It's under 3%.
But you got to have a baseline. What's the baseline you're comparing it to? The last month, the last quarter, the last year?
Well, they're saying inflation in the United States in the last quarter, just pure inflation, was less than 3%. All right. So they don't talk about comparing it to last year. They're just saying the actual.
Well, they have to have some baseline. Otherwise, you can't have the number.
Well, I think you can measure inflation without. I mean, inflation is inflation. So whether they're comparing it to last year, they're not comparing it to last year, saying what it was last year, that Trump is that it was a better report compared to last year than what was anticipated. It was as an economic factor in the last quarter. It was projected to be over 3%. It's under 3%. We could beat around it, but anyway, the report is good, and I think more and more reports as we head into 2026 are going to show Trump's impact on the economy.
Chuck said, I understand your point, Jeff, about the money not going to make a difference, but if you're a young military male or female, that small amount to them makes a difference this time of year, especially if you're young with a small family to feed.
I'll go with you, Chuck.
Yeah, I think in that sense, we got to remember that military people are usually underpaid.
Well said, Chuck.
Yep. All right. Very good. Thank you. All right. Well, Jeff and I are going to talk, and Sammy will as well, because I want to hear about AI from a young person's perspective. We're going to be talking about, as we get started back on January the 6th in 2026 with Grit and Good News. We're going to have one segment to talk about AI and what role that specific kind of use of AI, what role does it really play? I mean, is it really capable of doing that, or is it not? Yesterday, I was waiting on some stuff to download in my computer, and I had a few minutes while waiting for it, and I thought Maury was kidding me about us being bald. So I said, and at the same time, ChatGPT sent out an email alert saying, check out our new imaging. So I went on there and I said, can you guys add hair? And it said, yes, we can. So I gave it my picture where it was clearly bald as headshot. And I said, I wanted to say, I did early on, provide Jesse Waters style hair to my picture. And it did in a matter of 2 minutes.
How'd you look, young man?
Well, Sammy came in and I had 4 of them. And Sammy came in and he looked at me and said, he's laughing. He said, no way, Dad, you can't be doing that. So I think everybody's used to, they're used to what we look like, and then we'll make a change. It takes a while for it to grow on them. But it was what if I had a full head of hair, I had one of them do Gavin Newsom style. And I don't know if I'd have had it like that, if I'd have worn it. I had one do Matthew McConaughey, but it was different. So anyway, we're going to be talking about that as we move forward. I'm going to read to you today. We don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to make this fast, and then we'll jump into our regular stuff as we end the show. This is a day in Dallas in 2065. Sammy will be 61. Yeah, 61 years old. I read the very beginning of this the other day, but I want to read it to you right now. It won't take me a minute. A day in Dallas, 2065, 6:45 a.m. Waking up. The blinds fade open automatically, matching the sunrise. Well, the actual sunrise, not a projection. Dallas's climate grid has learned to regulate air quality, so even in July, this is in July, yeah. The morning sky is clear and crisp. Crisp. My apartment's wall surface shifts from sleep mode to active, projecting my schedule in the corner while quietly balancing the air temperature based on my biometrics. My health AI has already run a night cycle scan, blood sugar optimal, hydration slightly low. A nanobot sample taken at 3 a.m. confirmed my immune system is responding to the seasonal allergy surge. So the system micro adjusted my antihistamine dose without waking me. 7:10 breakfast. I don't shop for food anymore. The kitchen fabricator pulls my breakfast from nutrient cartridges and vertical garden greens. It's not just synthetic, it's targeted. My omelet's protein ratio is tuned for today's planned activity load. The coffee beans, grown in a sealed hydroponic greenhouse in West Texas, roasted in-house and ground seconds before brewing. My personal AI, Vesta, briefs me on the day. A quick Hyperloop ride to the orbital port for a design review with the L4 construction team, its job. A virtual mentorship session with a student in Lagos, Nigeria. Dinner with friends in Deep Ellum, reservation confirmed via TrustNet. 8 a.m. getting to work. The autonomous pod picks me up at my door. No traffic. Dallas redesigned street patterns decades ago to keep ground lanes for pedestrians, local pods, and delivery bots, while long-range transit happens underground or in the air. My pod docks at the West Dallas hub, where my biometrics are scanned to me through. I'll just skip all the rest of this down to how the day will end. At 5:30 p.m., dinner in Deep Ellum. I take an VTOL shuttle across town. The craft is whisper quiet and the city glows beneath me, a mix of historic brickwork and high-tech towers. That the city glows beneath him means he's in the air. Dinner is with friends I've known since before BCIs were common, whatever that means. One is physically here. Another joins as a holographic overlay at our table from a station in Mars orbit. The latency's barely noticeable thanks to quantum relay nodes. We talk politics, tech gossip, and weekend plans. Dallas has a lunar art festival coming up, and a few of us are going to make the trip. And
To
then
the moon?
at
Or
the end of the day, yeah, I guess. Back at 8:30 p.m., back at my apartment, the AI dims the lights and projects a live Earth view feed from an orbital observatory. My nanobot health scan confirms I've hit my daily fitness and nutritional targets. And quick mental prompt cues tomorrow's Hyperloop tickets and syncs my orbital access codes. Before bed, I step onto my balcony. The air is warm but clear, the sky vibrant. Cargo drones blink quietly in the sky, headed to and from the port. In 2065, Dallas hasn't lost its Texas soul. It's just wrapped it in enough innovation to make the future feel like home. So he had dinner with
and who wrote this?
me after looking up a bunch of stuff about, give me bullet points about what it's going to be like 50 years from now. And it goes on. I skipped most of the day, but it talks about a snack. You just take a little pod and eat it.
How fulfilling.
But you eat it and you feel like you've eaten a cotton patch. It's kind of weird.
Chuck said, "I'll stick with old school, no likey AI. If it's so smart, wouldn't it be nice if it found a cure for cancer and all other diseases?"
Well, the truth is, we're going to study the component of healthcare within AI. There are plenty of medical folks out there who believe AI will be the key to curing diseases that have not yet been cured. I'm praying that before I get called home that it cures baldness.
And with the thorn comes the roses.
That's right. So when Chuck and others like him say, "I want to stay old style," I don't think we're going to have a choice. We have a choice now. I could live like I'm in the 70s. I could. I would have to be disciplined and regimented, but I could live as though from fashion to home to cars to what I eat to what I listen to, all that, what I watch.
My vinyl selections, and I do play a lot of vinyl. They come from the '70s primarily.
Yeah, so we could live that way, but AI is going to make it such that we can't live old fashioned.
Right.
Old fashioned will, for Sammy, old fashioned will be what we're experiencing now with AI, and he won't have the option to do that. So it's kind of sad. I'm glad I won't be here to see all that. All righty, it is 12:50. It's time for a poem. What you got, Jeffrey?
Well, I didn't have any specific Christmas poems, and this is our last show before Christmas. That's why I look like the world's largest candy cane. But this one it starts out a little bit about Jesus, and Jesus works his way in, and
Yeah.
we do get a little bit about the birth of Jesus.
Yeah.
So it's called There Is Just One Jesus. There is just one Jesus, though many stake a claim, born without a fuss, given a heavenly name. An expression with an interesting flavor is Lord Jesus, my personal Savior. He's done us all a real big favor. Jesus talked quite a bit about the simple golden rule. If you refuse to believe it, you are Satan's hateful tool. Such a lack of love by those who feel above the feelings of others, even their sisters and brothers. Yes, love conquers all. Jesus made this call. In a world full of electricity, yet quite full of animosity, Jesus taught us right from wrong. He showed us how to get along. Just try a little love, said the man from above. Now more than ever, let's strive to never forget just one rule, the simple Christ-filled tool.
Very, very good.
Thank you.
That's great. To that end, or to that in that context, Jeff and I, as you all know, Grit and Good News is on Substack.com. If you go to Substack.com, search Grit and Good News, you will find us. You will find lots of content there generated by us from our own hearts, and covers the spectrum. We've been doing it now for about what, since May? No, earlier than that. Oh no, since May,
There was a little in
June.
April, a little April.
Yeah. So
Twice a week, and we never miss that, even
Yeah.
if we miss a show.
So if you sign up for $5 a month, you will get every Monday and Friday early before you get up an email from us with that week's or that day's. It's actually would mean that 3 days work. So on Monday you'll get 3 days worth of, well, not 3 days, but it's the intermission, I guess, or whatever you're going to call it. It's 3 days between 3 or 4 days between each newsletter. In that newsletter, there are columns by me, there's forums by Jeff. Sammy provides links. We have our show on
And
there.
Sammy's links are
Good.
they're
Yeah.
nice links to,
Yeah.
to very important stuff.
Yep. And we have our audio on there, which is an important aspect of what we do. But in this, the reason I tell you all that is, one, to remind you. The other is to say that the next 3 newsletters, tomorrow and then Monday and then next Friday, really are about how and I guess how we see God's role, what America needs, what Christmas is about. It's not the
What
same old.
America needs, what the world needs, in this one tomorrow is about gift giving,
Yeah.
about what's beneath the
Yeah,
wrapper.
what's beneath it all. And it's not Jesus is the reason for the season. I mean, obviously that's true, but it's not that cliche stuff. So we go deeper with these 3 columns, and we hope that you will enjoy them. So there's that. All right. We didn't play Day in History the other day because you were gone. So we're geared up, ready to go.
Okay. All right, here we go. December 18th, 2025. I managed to limp home with a 9-1, thanks to
Limp home. That's a
with 3 bonuses. And here's the first one. Let's get this one, guys. The 13th Amendment to the Constitution abolishing slavery was declared in effect by Secretary of State William H. Seward, that is of Seward's Icebox fame. So kind of tie it into when did the Civil War end, Sam?
Sammy. Go ahead.
1864.
1865.
65.
I thought it was
Booyah.
19.
No, the bonus.
I'll take it.
Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky's ballet The Nutcracker publicly premiered in St. Petersburg, which is now
Moscow.
Moscow.
19.
Hang on. Russia. Although now considered a classic, it received a generally negative reception from its critics at the time.
Interesting.
1919.
1948.
1892.
Wow. A long time ago.
Okay. Going into World War II here. The Battle of Verdun, World War I's longest 10 months, longest battle, ended between the French and German forces. It led to nearly 1 million casualties. A battle that led to 1 million casualties. That wasn't a bomb dropping.
Mm-mm. That's suspicious.
1941.
1930.
Wrong war.
1930?
In between two wars. 1916.
Yeah.
Ah,
Figured.
The world's first commercial nuclear power plant, the shipping port atomic power station in Pennsylvania, began supplying electricity to customers. It was taken out of service in 1982.
1934.
1950.
57. You snuck in there.
Barely, yeah.
Remember, when we had that atomic bomb in 45, that was really the start of the atomic world. And 12 years later, they're making nuclear power plants.
Yep.
They found something peaceful to do with something that we started as a bomb.
Yep.
Here we go. The last convoy of heavily armored U.S. troops left Iraq in the final moments of a nearly 9-year war.
What was the last date?
Last date was 57. We're sometime from there,
I'm
Sam.
going to go 74.
91.
2011.
Wow.
Jeez.
Okay.
Okay, listen close. Think it through. Get the bonus. The U.S. House impeached President Donald Trump on 2 charges, sending his case to the Senate for trial. The articles of impeachment accused him of abuse of power to investigate Democratic rival Joe Biden before the 2020 election and obstructing Congress's investigation of the matter.
2022.
2019.
2019.
Thank goodness for bonuses.
Well, dang.
All right.
It said it was before the 2020 election.
Anyway.
We close with Pope Francis. We currently have who? Pope
Okay.
Leo
Yeah, Leo in Chicago.
from Chicago. Pope Francis approved letting Catholic priests bless same-sex couples under certain circumstances, and that is bless, not marry them, but bless them.
2022.
2023.
2023.
Booyah.
You get 2 bonuses in
I
a row
got
there?
3. Yeah, 2 bonuses in a row.
That's
and
good.
I got 3 bonuses overall.
Yeah, there you
I'll
go.
put it up in 7 and 3. But
Okay.
you finished 9 and 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. All right, our show. Oh no, I got to do our true facts that sound like bull hockey.
This is as much fun
All
as
right,
you
the
can
boys
have with
like
your
this one.
clothing
See if y'all
on.
know this. True or false? All right, you ready?
Yep.
True or false? The first television commercial ever was a car commercial.
False. It was a cigarette commercial.
I thought we were going to hone in on the date of it. I'm going to.
We never do the date on this.
Yeah, I know.
True or false? The first television commercial ever was a car commercial.
I'll say yes.
False. It was actually a commercial for
Cigarettes.
watches, and it aired in 1941.
I got it right. Partially.
Watches are a big deal.
I'm
You should
wearing
ask
one, you're
me.
wearing one.
Yep, and Sammy should be wearing one. Kids these days aren't going to wear one because they have their phone.
That's about the
So,
dirtiest look you've
there-
given your dad, and
yeah.
I've seen some dirty ones.
So our show was brought to you by HooserCustomMeats.com. Many of you know that by now. Hooser is spelled Hooser. CustomMeats.com, 903-688-1446. 903-688-1446. They're in 8 Lake, Texas. They raise their own meat, if you will, and it's good stuff. So please, for the holidays, if you want something really good and from steak to cutlets to fajita meat, whatever, check out HoosierCustomMeats.com. Very nice people. You will enjoy doing business with them. So there you have it. We will be taking our Christmas and New Year's break starting today, and we'll be back on Tuesday, January the 6th, with a whole new set of things to discuss. We want to thank you for being here. Thank you for your support, for your patronage. That means a lot to us. We're going to continue to grow and do other things in addition to what we're doing now. Jeff and Sammy, I know will have a great holiday. Merry Christmas. But thank you and Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, Chuck.
And we do hope people miss us because that means that they like us.
Yes, exactly.
Please have a good day, and remember, try to put a smile on somebody's face today. Amen.